Hello and welcome back to Strongwoman High's Dash. Life is a mishmash. Today we have very special guest, three-time World's Strongest Woman winner and three-time national champ, plus multiple records, which I'm sure we'll get into. It's Nancy Johnson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
No, thank you for being on. I really appreciate it. This is awesome. So, do you want to give a little bit of a brief rundown about who you are, what you're all about for listeners of the podcast?
Sure. If you don't know who I am a pro strongwoman. I'm a coach. I do commentary and judging for Strongman. I do so many different things in Strongman. Now, I'm actually promoting my first show this year that I'm super excited about.
Ooh.
So I feel like I've worn all the hats necessary in this sport at this point, and I'm just super excited to be here. Like you already said, I have some experience under my belt, but we can get into that as we talk if it comes up.
Absolutely. I'm sure it will. How long have you been in the sport then altogether?
Ooh, late 2018.
Oh, so it's not loads of time then.
No, it feels like it has, but it hasn't been that much time when I sit back and think about it, because it's really only been about 8 years. It's insane that it's been that long, but absolutely. It also feels like it's just gone by, you know?
Yeah, crazy. It's classed as well, like, because I thought you'd been in the sport like 10, 12 years, but like to have been in for 8 years and have the records and the titles that you hold is absolutely insane.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that we'll kind of circle back to that point specifically when we talk about things I should have told my younger self.
Ooh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'll wait till we get there. But I have good thoughts on that.
No problem. Well, we'll just crack straight into it then. So, what has been your Strongwoman high?
That is the hardest question in the world when you think about the travel, the people, the individual wins, like whether it's a PR or a special moment, just those event moments where you're like, I feel like I'm on top of the world, or you're sharing something in the shoot with an athlete you really respect. Like those moments are just so incredible. And now that I've had the opportunity to do big commentary on bigger stages and judging on bigger stages, I'm like, oh my gosh, this question there's so many good answers. And if you had asked me last year, I probably would have just said setting a world record. But this year, it was going to the Husafell with my partner, Tyler, and doing that, just the two of us. It was such a wonderful, spiritual, magical moment for the two of us to lift it. And it was actually the first time we went, because we went twice. We were just in Iceland in June. We went the second day we were there, and then we circled back a few days later. The first day was actually the best day in my Strongwoman career ever for me, because I was able to lift the Husafell so easily, in my opinion, the first time I actually attempted to lift it off the ground. And then I took a few steps, and I never expected that to be something I ever did. And when I dropped it and I looked at Tyler and the excitement we both shared and the emotion we both shared, I was like, this is the best thing in the world for me. And then he lifted it right after me, which was even more special in a way, because he's had so many back issues and injuries leading up to this. So all of his training really prepared him for it, even though he's not a stone loader like I am. So all in all, it was the best moment so far has definitely been lifting the Husafell and walking it. It is incredible.
That's absolutely insane. It's such a cool feat of strength as well. I think especially for women, is because there's not been that many women who've lifted that Husafell up. And for people who don't know about it, it's 186 kilos, isn't it?
I know it's about 410 pounds. I can't remember it's like all the conversions we think about all the time.
No, I'm pretty sure it's either 183 or 186. Yeah, 186. I thought it was, which is just insanity, absolute insanity, that like there's now multiple women that have lifted that stone as well.
Yeah, and at the time, only 2 people had walked it. It was Sandra and Leifa, and for me to walk it without knowing I would walk it felt insane. And then as I'm talking to other ladies about it, we're like, okay, obviously someone has a full pen lap in them. So I went back and I walked at 40 feet the second time, and I was the first person to ever take that far. And then a few weeks later, Hannah Lindsay goes out and actually does the full circle, full lap. And I'm like, see, we knew it was coming. We knew women are capable of doing that. I think the next challenge for women with the Husafell might be to pick it from the ground, the traditional, or the way the men do, straight up instead of the flip into lap. Nothing against the flip into the lap. I did it. I know a lot of women do it, but I would love to see somebody pick it up, just ass to grass from the bottom. It would be amazing. And it's possible.
Do you reckon you're going to do it?
We've talked about going back, but putting pressure on a goal like that seems not like the right decision at this moment. But it's definitely like it's a goal, but it's not a diehard goal. Like you have some goals where you're like, I really want to achieve that in my lifetime. And then you have the goals where you're like, that would be really cool if we can prepare for that and we can make the time for that, because you would need to prepare for that differently.
Yeah, definitely. You've had a massive year for stone lifting as well, because you've done the Dinnies this year too, haven't you?
I did. I did the Dinnies 2 weeks later.
Insane.
Which was very, very cool. I wanted to hold it for a really long time. That's what I had been prepared for. That was like a personal challenge for me. Well, lifting them without straps was a personal challenge, and then seeing how long I could hold them. And I was able to lift them without straps, but because the front weight is just so awkward and does wiggle a little bit, I could never find the balance with it. But I'm not upset about it. I've had a very blessed stone summer, hit a lot of stone goals this year.
Absolutely. Where do you think your love of stones came from then? Because you are speak quickly about your world record as well, because you were the world record holder for the stone load. Out of everybody as well, wasn't it?
Not everybody, just the U82s at the moment. But I'm hopeful in loading a 400-pound plus stone in my lifetime for the overall. So I set
kilos.
I want to say 180 something.
What? I'm not good at doing the maths. I'll just have to Google it. 400
181
pounds.
plus.
What? That is insane.
There's something about stones and me. It's part of what drew me to strongman. I was a powerlifter before, and when I first started learning about strongman with my first coach, Greg, he had all these stones at his house, and it was, what could you do with them? What could you lift with them? And at the time, I was only lifting about 150 pounds, so close to the 64 girls size. And there's something about my natural ability. I have a really good natural ability with extensions, whether it's bad toss or loading. And that's something that just drew me in. Like natural stones or Atlas stones, they're so fascinating and they're weird and they're just heavy blocks that you can move around and do different things with. I can't justify the love for them other than the fact that it's really cool. And I think the more time you spend outside with them, the more connected you start to feel to nature, rocks, everything that's going on around you. It's the real world lifting, I suppose.
100%, yeah. I love that. That's what got me into strongman as well, was doing training in a gym and then just trying the Atlas stones one day and being like, fucking, this is sick. Like this is a bit of me. Fuck them barbells off. These stones are where it's at.
Right. So then I got to ask you, because some people are like, oh, I love stones, but I hate tacky. Do you hate tacky?
Nah, I don't mind tacky me. There's a time and a place for it, but I don't mind it.
I have no problem being covered in tacky. And I know some people are like, I have to get it off me as soon as I'm done. I'm like, I'm only covered in it for a certain amount of time. It's only to meet the goal and then we're done. But I think a lot of people who don't like stones, they say they don't like stones because the texture or being stuck to something isn't their thing. I've also heard the argument that it's not true stone lifting if you use tacky, which I think is bogus.
Fuck off. Yeah, I'm not buying that. That strongman's always been stones and tacky, hasn't it? And as well, imagine how shit it would be if we couldn't use tacky. How people would definitely be much worse at stones. We wouldn't be able to lift anywhere near the weights that we're lifting.
Right.
And if you're going to go that argument, then you should agree that there's no straps for deadlift and no belt for deadlift. Like, fucking, it's all or
Hey,
nothing in my mind.
the whole belt clean argument.
Yeah, just stupid.
I mean,
Fucking people
that's why
whinge
you
about
see
that.
natural stones usually significantly lighter than Atlas stones because the assumption is you're not using that slightly sticky aid. It's just a sticky aid. You still have to have the extension and the ability to take that stone from the front of your chest to the top side of your chest. Well, if you're short like me, I put it on top of my chest most of the time to load it, but you have to be able to move it and extend and load it yourself. You can't just assume the tacky's going to do all the work.
No, exactly, yeah. And to be fair, I don't think the tacky makes it like the rest of the lift that much easier. The initial pick, yeah, 100%, but
Right.
like the rest of it, you're not relying on tacky at that point, are you?
You shouldn't be. It's helpful, but it's not the whole lift.
Tips and tricks here, tips and tricks from the world's best. So what was your record? What was the under 82 record then? Was it 165, 167 kilos?
It was the one I set last year was 161, so about 355 in pounds. And that was at Faith for Power Week. And then I went back this year and they went through the effort of, I can't remember what the final drive was, but they drove quite a few hours through the night to get the right stone for me to attempt a next record, which was 167.1 kilograms or 368 pounds. And that one moved so well. We were hoping I could do another jump that day, but the next jump was about a 30-pound jump. So it was
Yeah.
asking a lot of my body. And something that Ed Cohen always talks about is when you hit a PR, be happy with it. Don't always think you need to go for a next one because you might have just completely dumped your tank, even though it felt easy. Save some for next
Yeah.
time. Like there's always a next time.
Yeah, I like that. That's very good advice. Very good advice from the absolute G as well.
You say that. I got to do it with Sunny standing right there both times, last year and this year. So last year I was breaking her record and she's standing there supporting me. And afterwards she's like, I love that she said this because it stuck with me for so long, that she can be so excited for me setting a new standard and breaking a record, but also kind of sad like her record's gone. And she's like, those two things can exist inside me at the same time. And she was cheering for me, rooting for me. And then this year to have Leifa judging me while Sunny's there, you got two prior world record stone loaders standing right there supporting you. It's an incredible feeling and such a wonderful moment to share with people you love, and people who love rock.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think as well that is like the whole vibe of it, isn't it? I think especially with women's stone lifting, it's as it imagine like Strongwoman's got its own like really supportive community. Women's stone lifting is fucking next level, isn't it? Like because everyone
It
knows
is.
how fucking shit and hard it is.
Right? Like for Kiki and Eggle to go through all the effort they go through, one, to get everybody out to Norway for Fit for Power Week, but then I got Eggle and Dave from Sticks and Stones driving through the night to get another stone for me to make a stone record. I'm like, this is insane. And you get the whole community around you in that sense. Like what they've built out in Norway, if you ever get a chance to go, if anyone else gets a chance to go, it's unreal. It's the best summer camp for rockheads in the world. Undeniable.
Absolutely. I've been speaking to Kiki about it for ages, and I've said every year I'm going to go, but I think this 2026 might be the year that I have to fucking do it. Yeah, it's
I
the
think you
time
should.
off though, isn't it? Like, if I'm going to go, I'm going for the full 10 days. I'm not doing it
Yes.
half of it. I need to go for
Right.
the
The
full
only
thing. So,
The only reason we didn't do full 10 this year was knowing we were going to Iceland and we are like, that's going to be really expensive. So we have to barter our time. We did half and half, but it was still such a wonderful time. You get so sad to leave, but you can come back whenever you want.
yeah, exactly. Was gonna always there every year, isn't it? Never missing out.
Yeah.
No, I love that. That's so cool. So Strongwoman High was the Husafell, which obviously like the hugest thing ever. I want to talk to you a little bit about your commentary and like your promoting journey as well, as long as that's not your Strongwoman
Yeah.
low.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the commentary and how has that led into like your promoting journey now then?
The commentary actually started at local shows, just me running my face on the mic because it made the show move. It was fun to, joke with the athletes, pick on the athletes, try and get them to do more while they're mid rep. And I don't think I thought it was going to take off until I was invited to maybe it was Strongman Corporation Nationals last year, where they asked me to be official commentary, polo shirt, everything. Then I went to the Olympia and did a commentary for the America's Strongest Woman and Man show. It kind of took off in a surprising way. And I haven't looked back because it's been so wonderful. The way I see it, if you're not competing and you're able to give your time or support a show in any kind of way, do it. And I found that I really love being on the mic. I really love talking about athletes. Oh my goodness, I lied. I did start locally. I forgot. I did the Shaw Classic. That was the one that really made it take off for me because
Nice.
sorry, scattered. I broke my leg at the
It's
end
all
of
right.
2022. I started working with Evolution just a few months after I broke my leg. And in talking with Carrie and Brian, because I had been part of the first inaugural women's show, they were like, "Do you think you can do the Shaw Classic this year?" And I was like, "I don't think it's safe for me to compete just 8 months post surgery, but I would love to be there." And they put me right on the floor for the open with Nick Best doing commentary. And I was so nervous and I was scared for that. I remember feeling nervous for that one. And I did all this homework on all the athletes competing. And I realized that if you get to know the athletes pretty well, whether it be during check-ins or you're stalking their social media, but if you get to understand the athletes and do some homework on them, it makes the commentary piece so much more fun and so much more real because you can talk about how if an athlete comes out how they just set a world record on that implement or you already know they're really great at it, or you could crack jokes if you think they're going to hear you and laugh, like if you know their humor. And that was such a wonderful experience for me being a part of the Shaw Classic because it's such a big show. And then I went and did nationals and America's Strongest Man and Woman. And I've had so much fun doing it. I feel like I've really connected with other athletes and found a way to be a part of shows when I'm not competing or not doing something else. Similar to judging, just being there when somebody gets that wonderful lift and you get to give them that down call. You remember it, they remember it. I've been doing judging for Pro Strongman League for 2 or 3 years now, and that's an incredible time. I've worked for every organization at this point, so I'm just throwing organization names at you. But it started
Absolutely. No.
in short, it started locally and spiraled in a wonderful way that has just made me love the sport even more.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I did a bit of commentary. I did a commentary stint last year, just for chaos, really. But like, I got the bug for it straight away. I was like, I love chatting shit at the best of times, me. But what I think as well is, and I love this, what's happening now is so many more shows are getting commentators in who are fellow athletes or previous athletes who know the competitors, and what a difference it
Yes,
makes on commentary. Like,
yes,
it's more of a show. People are more invested because you find out more about the athletes. It's more interesting to watch and listen to instead of just someone going, "Wow, that was amazing. Oh, that was so good." Like,
right.
no, I don't care about that. Where do they train? How long have they been doing
Yes.
strongman? Tell me about like
Wait,
what they're like as a person.
yes. When they're in the sport, they know about the sport. And I would argue that they're still, I don't want to say relevant in a hurtful way, but relevant in the sense like they're still paying attention to the current records, the current standards. Because if I was a female who competed when 300-pound deadlifts were the high mark, I might not give you the best commentary experience if I didn't understand that around 500 seems 5, 6, depending on what group you're talking about, seems to be the new expectation. Like be involved
Yeah,
in the sport so much so that you know what the current field is. And then, like you said, knowing what athletes are like outside, like what do they do for work? Do they have some crazy labor job that makes that they do here even cooler? Like I want to know about that. And the audience
yeah.
really feeds off that.
Absolutely. Well, I think you give it like a bit of an edge of like, it sounds bad this, but like a reality TV thing. Because fucking hell, like reality TV sells, doesn't it? Like people want to know about people, especially when those people are doing weird shit like Strongman.
Yeah.
So like they want to know the ins and outs of them, like treat them a bit like celebrities, because then you do get that following and people enjoy watching it. Like, because how many live streams have you watched back in the day where you're just watching, it's just shite, just garbage. You don't find anything
Yeah.
out. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah. They're talking about some athlete like it's a casual thing they're doing. And you're like, this person is a world record holder or a world champion. And you're acting like they're the worst thing ever because they tripped and messed up an event when really that was just a mistake. Like, talk about how that's not their usual presentation.
Yeah.
I mean, we all follow each other across the globe in different ways. We're paying attention to the different competitions. So you remember little things of like, oh, I remember when that person fell face first into their sandbag load. And now I could talk about how they just finished this sandbag load without tripping this time. Like those little tidbits are really fun for the audience. And when the audience gets excited, it just adds to the commentary piece even more because you can see how
Yeah.
fun it is for them. So you just keep going. It's like a comedy set almost.
Yeah,
A little bit
100%.
of
I
comedy.
totally agree. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I've had some commentary, I had some comedy moments on the commentary team before, and
Yeah.
like, it's just class fun, isn't it? Like, I love winding people up, which is like, it's the best
Yeah.
place to do it.
And having like a good co-host, whenever I've done inter wow, interviews. Whenever I've done commentary with Gabe Pena, it's just so flawless because we're good friends. So we can just rib back and forth and he can reel me in if I'm talking too much and we need to like get to the next heat of athletes. Like having somebody who can follow the conversation, talk about the athletes well, but also be following what's happening on the floor. Like, okay, we need to go to an intermission or we need to pay attention and switch topics. We need to do this, this, this. It's so helpful when the chemistry
Yeah.
is good.
Oh, absolutely. I think your co-host makes or breaks it, really, doesn't it? A lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
100%. So how's
Definitely.
that then led into, tell me a bit about your promoting journey then, your new show that you're running.
I am promoting a local show this fall in 2 months. Whenever, I don't know when this is coming out, but on November 8th, we're hosting the River City Strongman Games in Richmond, Virginia, which is completely sold out. Super excited about that. And the next day, we're having Nick Best and John Hack do a seminar also in Richmond, Virginia. So look it up on Iron Podium.
Nice.
Honestly, the gym I've been training, I train out of my house a lot, but the gym I go to is in the city and they started expanding their gym and adding strongman equipment to it. And somebody asked me earlier this year, like, when are you going to host a show? I was like, soon, I guess. I guess we'll do it now. I guess we'll go ahead and start because I had done everything I wanted to do in the sport as like different roles. And I've always wanted to promote a show. So I was like, there's no better time than right now. And I gave myself about 9 months to start to prepare and to put everything into place. And now it's almost here and all the logistics are pretty well set in stone. It's very exciting to see all these things come together, but I know it's going to be a new experience for me being the one in charge that day. So I'm nervous, but good nervous.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That it sounds like that's going to be like a next level competition. If you've spent 9 months organizing it, I know most people only spend about 8 weeks, and they're like, "Fuck it, that'll do. Close enough, that'll do. Send it out."
Right. The presentation hopefully is the big ticket here, how we make the show look and hopefully build the strongman community in this area because it is kind of small where I'm at now. I lived in North Carolina before and there was a huge strongman scene. Living in Virginia, it's a little bit more scattered or sparse. So this show has already gained more interest. Like the clinics we've done preparing for it, come touch natural stones, come do this. Those things are gaining more interest from the gym members who weren't interested in strongman before. And it's also brought more people out of the woodwork who didn't know we had a strongman gym really building in the area at RVA Iron, which is exciting. It's all about building the community and putting more stuff out there and helping the gym grow that strongman side that I guess they would say they put faith in me to really grow. They're like, if Nancy's
Yeah.
saying we need this, then we're going to try.
Of all the people to have growing it as well, they've got a pretty decent, like, solid person there too. Of all the people, 3-time world champion, someone over here, she's going to set it up. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I got to give a shout out to the Barn Gym. It was a gym that closed down in Northern Virginia, but when they closed down, they sold some of their equipment to RVA Iron. So we have a stone loading platform and our first set of stones. And I'm like, this is exciting. Like, who wants to come touch rocks? Let's touch rocks.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Fucking love it. It's so cool. It's similar. Like, I'm doing the same sort of thing at the moment because I've just bought like shares in a gym. So this is where I am right now. But yeah, so we're like trying to run a couple of comps and like do all. I know. Can you hear the background? Sorry, everybody. If you can hear
No,
that
I just heard,
banging and
I can hear
crashing.
it playing.
But yeah, so we're just trying to get it up and running. But by Christ, it's hard work. I don't know how you're finding it out in America, but at the moment, what we seem to have in the UK is we have such an influx of competitions, which is great. Like, don't get me wrong at all, but we've got so many pathways now, national like pathways, so many big competitions, and then we have loads of local shows as well. So we've really struggled actually to like promote it and bring people into the comp, which is like, it's a bit of a shame really, but it's one of them, isn't it? Like sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, don't you?
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like you guys have more pathways than anyone can imagine over in Europe, you know?
Oh my God. Honestly, England is like well, not even England, just the United Kingdom is the hotspot for strongman, it seems, at the moment. Because we have, I
Yeah.
mean, what have we got now? Four national pathways, something ridiculous like that. Like
Are those
all
the
the
OSG
different
pathways you're
things.
referring to?
Yeah, so we have the OSG pathway, and then we've got natural strongman. We've got another natural one that's called WEA GB, and then we've got like there's quite a lot of leagues as well at the moment. So we've got like Northern Amateur Women's League. There's a Scottish Strength League. There's a Strength Cup Series. There's like fucking hell any amount of comps. If you wanted to compete every weekend now in the UK, you absolutely could.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. So
Yeah,
many.
it's busy.
I mean, I
It's just
guess the
good.
states have a lot, but I don't think we have the same world stage feel that some of your shows get. Like we have the Shot Classic and Strongman Core in the United States, or USS Nationals and Pro Strongman League. And I don't think I'm forgetting one, but and I guess the Arnold, but that's kind of on par with Strongman Core. Some of them just don't feel like they're as big as the OSGs and whatnot. I've always wanted to go to all your different OSGs until I found out you have to live there to do that. Like,
Yeah. No, they're a bit
but
picky, aren't they? But that's like that Europe's though. Europe, so the OSG Europes that they do, that's a pretty good comp every year. They've really built that into something cool now. So, and it's a nice
the
pathway as well
promotions,
into Worlds.
yeah,
Yeah, they've absolutely built it up. It's been fantastic. Right, well, let's move on then. I can't believe we've already been on for half an hour. We haven't even got to the lows yet. Get out. Right, well, let's ruin the good vibes then. Let's ruin the good vibes. So, what have been your Strongwoman lows?
I feel like a lot of people would think it would be me breaking my leg under the cardio, which is not. I'm actually very grateful for that experience. In hindsight, it did a lot for my relationship. It's grown me as a person. But I think my low is going pro really quickly. And that circles back to what you mentioned earlier, where you thought I had been in the sport for a while. And I think you think that, and a lot of people might assume that because there are so many people who spend years in the sport before they win a title or, I guess, get some Instagram fame or whatever. And I wish I had been one of those people that had spent more time in the shadows before I got a pro card and went pro. Not because the opportunities got too limited, but I don't feel like I had enough time to push myself and grow as an amateur before I was already being told like you're a pro now. And I'm like, I understand that I am, but I don't feel like I had imposter syndrome when I first got my pro card, and I just wanted to grow more. And especially after I broke my leg, that's when I really had to grow as a person and as an athlete again. And I'm like, this is what I could have needed back then. I'm thankful I broke my leg later in my career because I was tough enough to get through it. And I might not have been if I had broken my leg well early into my career. I just didn't have that privacy and that grit and that force to grow alone. I I won my first nationals. It was my second show, and I that was very exciting at the time. But I also knew like I didn't have skill. I was winning off brute strength, and I needed to grow. So that was my low was just shooting up kind of quickly.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting because we say it a lot in this sport now, especially in the women's side, that people come out of nowhere, don't they? Like everyone just comes out of nowhere. People get into this like sport, and I think because and this is not a rip. Obviously the women's side is really, really strong, but the depth is not that big. Like you've got that top pool of like athletes who are really, really good, there's not that many people below that. Like we've not got a huge like depth of athletes as say like CrossFit would. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think when you get someone who's previously competed in powerlifting or even like rugby, stuff like that, they come into this sport and they've already got such a high level of strength. They only need a tiny bit of skill to be able to get up into that top level. But then, like
Yes.
you said, you then lose out on all that experience of being a novice competitor because you
Mhm.
can't compete in a novice anymore. You can't do that. You have to do these huge shows where you're up against like the world's best, and it's quite stressful, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. My first Worlds was very eye-opening because I had just come from nationals, winning my third nationals. And I wouldn't say I was cocky, but I walked in with some complacency, thinking like, this should be just like nationals. And my mind was not prepared for the international stage. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, really. Like and the worlds as well. OSG worlds is such a step above everything else as well. I think like people, I don't think if you haven't been there, you don't understand how much more intense OSG Worlds is compared to every other competition that is out there. Like people are there
Yeah.
to win or die. Like, and that's it, innit?
Yeah. I did a lot of local comps in North Carolina my first year, but it was all the same ladies all the time. I even went like a few states over for a few different shows, but after that, once you go to Worlds the first time, you're it's very hard to go to other shows and feel the same thing. And I remember going into Worlds in 2021. Yeah, because we didn't have it in 2020. But I remember going into that thinking, this is the first U73 class. This could be anyone's year to take that first title. And I took fourth. And I'm crying about it, not literally crying, but I'm, my boo hoos afterwards. And my boyfriend's like, do you not realize that you're fourth in the world and how short of a time you've been in this sport? And I'm like, whoa. I was like, perspective. I needed that. Okay. Thank you. That's awesome. He's like, also, you made mistakes. Like, you made big mistakes we can learn from here. And I hadn't really been an athlete that understood, you would be upset about your events, but I didn't understand at the time how to take your upsets from mistakes and event losses and turn them into growth and learning experiences. And after that was really where I was like, okay, it's not about looking at what everybody else is doing. It's about looking where I can improve, what I need to do better, and how I can bring a better move. So it was so many learning experiences in one show, being
Yeah.
my first world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of them as well. Like I say it all the time, you win or you learn, don't you? Like and I think especially in this sport, it's either you're at the top or you're learning some very valuable lessons very quickly, aren't you?
Yes, yes. It definitely helped. That trying out different sports that year because that was the end of 21. In 2022 I dabbled in Highland Games a little bit. I tried out bodybuilding. I competed in the first shot classic where I took fourth, and I was like, I can take fourth in an open class. And I've every time I've competed at the shot, I've sat in the top 5, which continues to remind me how much you can do when you're just having fun, because I'll go into open shows more about fun than specific things, and I'll do better. And I did really well in 2022 because I just went out there to have fun instead of the way I was walking the world, like this is make or break it in my whole life, when
Yeah.
it's not. It's a
No,
really big goal, but it's not everything.
yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard though to turn that off, and I think the environment at Worlds at OSG breeds that as well, doesn't it? Like everyone is there to win it. Like you've got the odd few in the classes who are just there for a bit of crack, but there's not many people go to OSG for fun, is there?
Yeah. I mean, you have people, I guess, that are openly like, oh, I'm not going to make day 2 and day 3. I came to be with my friends. Like, and that's fine. And what I've noticed about those people is they don't get in your way. They don't try to take the spotlight, or not like we're all trying to take a spotlight, but they're not doing anything to harm the show. They're there to make the show big. They're there to have a good time. And they're like, I'm okay with not going to finals. But the people that are there for finals, it's like, okay, they're all, headphones on, don't talk to me in the shoot. Like, everyone has their specific pre-lift moment, ritual, whatever you want to call it. It's fascinating. Very fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that as well, because there is that bit of a debate, isn't there? That like, if you're not going to be competitive, you shouldn't be at Worlds. I'm not a big fucking believer in that. I think everyone should go to Worlds at least once just to experience it and see what it's fucking like. Because like, I went in 2022 and like I learned so much from that experience that I now know what I need to do to go there to be competitive. Like, there's no point me going back now because I know that when I am right and when I'm ready, I'll know exactly what I need to do. But like, if I didn't do that, I would have no fucking clue.
Yeah, and the transfer it has to more than just your own athletic experience, the way you mentor new people in the sport, the way you coach, the way you talk about the sport on any comment, like that. Part of why I work for every organization is so that I can get an honest feel. Well, I love doing it, but I can get an honest feel for what's going well and what's going or what could use improvement on part of the show or as the athletes. Like if the athletes are complaining about something about a specific show and I know the behind the scenes stuff, I can say, well, this is actually part of something you don't understand, and this is why it works this way. But the more you dive into competing at a world level stage, the easier it is for you to prepare other people, whether it's a friend, someone you're mentoring, or your actual athlete. You can say, this is what it feels like, this is how it goes, and I'm there for you. I've been there, so I know exactly what you're going through. It's very helpful, and I think can make or break a lot of coaching relationships specifically is having someone who's been in your shoes and can say this is what you need to expect, this is how it should go, and this is how we're going to prepare you for it. It's all very valuable information for so many aspects of your life, honestly.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with that. Do you want to talk a little bit about breaking your leg as well? Because I know that was a huge thing. Like, we've
Sure.
brushed upon it a couple of times, haven't we? But do you want to go into it a little bit to tell people on the pod?
I mean, I have no qualms about it. It was awful, but it made me a better athlete. It made me want to get back to the sport more. Uh, if you don't know, I was walking the karaoke at my second OSG. So this was the OSG where Aaron Murray had moved onto the 82s. And because of that reason, I was like, I can take this title. And I was working my way to it. Unfortunately, in the fifth of seven events, 3 feet from the finish line, I stepped out too far with the car yoke on my back, and the car rocks front to back because it's so long. And the pressure shot through my leg, broke my tib and fib, unfortunately. So now I have a really cool rod in my leg. But after that, of course, I went through the lows of healing, coming back from it, the imposter syndrome. I got to experience more failures and grow through them, and the little things like just walking again, running again, jumping again. Now I'm at a point where all of my lifts have superseded everything I did before I broke my leg. And it doesn't feel like I broke my leg. Even though there's a rod in my leg, I hardly ever feel it.
Yeah.
It made it made me work harder on my relationship with Tyler. Made me realize I was taking some things for granted in our relationship, watching him nurse me back to health and be the wonderful human that he was through that whole experience. And I think it made me care more about athletes who come to me for advice, because I've had so many people with similar injuries reach out to me and they're like, I don't want to bother you. And I'm like, I want you to bother me,
Yeah.
because if I can say anything, like I'm not a doctor, but if I can say anything supportive about what I went through that helps you go through it, that's part of my purpose. It feels like is to use this to help people. And
Yeah.
it's still valuable. Like years later, that connection I've had, I met somebody at the Shaw Classic just a few weeks ago who had broken his leg, and we got to talking about it. And I was like, this is what I want to talk about. Like, how can I support you?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm very grateful actually for that experience. It sucked when it sucked, but looking back, I'm like, it made so many things better in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. I think as well, it goes back to that thing we were talking about OSG, like it's learned experience. Like you can help so many people so much better now because you've already been through that. You've been through the whole thing and it makes you better at coaching and better at understanding people and how to deal with those emotions because you're talking from your own experience.
Yeah. Makes you more relatable. Like, if somebody's like, oh, she won her first nationals, maybe she doesn't get what it's like to go through the harder growth period, then I can say, well, actually, I broke my leg and had to come back. So more relatable than you think in that sense.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Nah, it was like the craziest freak injury because I was there, I saw it, and it was the craziest freak injury I think I've ever seen. Like we were all just like, "What on earth has just happened?" And someone was like, "She just broke her leg." And I'm
Right?
like, "How?"
Nobody knew. Nobody knew. It was so confusing. I didn't know. I heard it, but I didn't feel it, thank God. So when I went down from my perspective looking down, I couldn't see that the bone was clearly broken. I'm just like, something's wrong. Like, I know I can't stand. And everyone's just like, okay, we'll tell you at the hospital. I'm like, do you guys think it's broken? And they're like, I don't know. But like I
Yeah,
said, I didn't feel pain. So I was very excited to have such high adrenaline or went into shock. But I was happy to be in shock until I felt the pain. And it was the worst pain of my life. But I know how to use that pain to talk about it with other people and to give some positive, like the easiest way to describe it is it sucks now, but it won't suck forever.
yeah,
And when you can sit with that thought, sometimes it's like, okay, I will one day wake up and go, oh, I'm in the it doesn't suck anymore part. And that's awesome. I got here. It's very
yeah,
powerful.
yeah. I love that. Absolutely love that. Right. Well, let's move on then. So, what would you say to yourself when you first started the sport?
I guess it would have been to not go to nationals right away. Or, everybody tells you compete more and get your feet wet in the sport. I wish I had done more research about the depth of the sport when I first got into it, like the history behind certain events and why we do certain things certain ways. Some of it's safety, some of it's historical, some of it's cultural, especially with stone lifting. When I was really deep into natural stone lifting, I still hadn't done much research. And the more research I did, the more things made sense to me. I don't know if this is making perfect sense, but yeah, I wish I had exposed myself to more visually than athletically when I was new
Yeah,
to the sport. Got to know different people. Like I would meet famous people and not know they were famous. And if I had known why they were famous, I could have asked them more educated questions like about their special, if they're a one lift specialist, ask them about that lift or learn from them instead of just being like, how's your day? What's going on?
yeah, no, I get where you're coming from completely. It's that like being immersed in the sport, isn't it? But I think as well that comes with time because especially like the women's side of the sport, like when I first started in like 2019, 2020, there was a bit online, but not loads.
Mm-hmm.
Like there wasn't and this was one of the main reasons of doing this podcast was that we had a cache of information that we could just
Yeah.
put out there and like once it's there, like it's there for everybody, isn't it? Like if someone got into Strongwoman now, they could come on here and be like, oh fucking hell, there's 30 odd episodes of podcasts there with like loads of different Strongwomen in, like sound. There's your background information straight away, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I do think that's like it's it's getting much better now for the women's side, but it requires all of us to put a little bit of effort in to create that content to make that
Yeah.
information readily available for people.
Which feels personally to me, I think sometimes a lot of us ladies don't want to harp on one feat all the time. Like if I was always talking about rocks, people would be like, okay, like we get it, you like rocks. And maybe another part of it is that it took so long for the ladies' side to really gain the fame it has now that nobody wants to be the only one sitting in the spotlight all the time. Like people are trying with their YouTube channels and really promoting the women's side, but I wonder if some of us are holding back because of like a societal feeling of, oh, we probably shouldn't subconsciously.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's that whole thing of taking up space as well, isn't it? Like, I mean, pretty
Yes.
much every woman that's ever grown up has been taught not to be that like overconfident, like
Yeah.
arrogant type of person and not to put yourself out there, not to take up all that space. And it's definitely changing. And like, that's going to work so much better for us. And I think the more women that we have that are doing that, that are like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to take up space. I'm going to have a YouTube channel. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. Like, it's going to make it
Right.
better for
As long as it's
everyone.
not hurting anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Keep
You're
it
just
like
creating
keep
more
it
information.
honest. Yeah, keep it positive, keep it about you and your lifts. Like you don't have to tear anybody down. But you more ladies are starting to get comfortable doing the like, oh, I'm up against so and so and like some like light smack talk on social media online. It's pretty fun.
I like the smack talk, mate. That's my favourite part of competing, to be honest.
Right? Like the guys can do it. The guys can do it all the time and nobody ever knows if they're actually mad at each other, but I don't think the ladies Like, I don't think we're all just as used to it. So it's different. You've also, how many people do you know that are obsessed with the YouTube videos? And they're like, I've watched all the world's strongest mans. And when I first got into the sport, I was like, what's that? What are you talking about? I know. And they're like, you don't know that this person did this at World's Strongest Man? I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, that was way back in 2018. Obviously, I've seen a lot of it now. But even then, sometimes I'm like, when you guys get time to watch all these YouTube videos and memorize every single one of these moments, like, it's insane. Like, good for you, but it's insane.
Yeah, there's just so much information, though, isn't there? There is so much information out there about strongman, and I think it is getting that way with strong woman now, and especially because like we've got a pretty small group of people as well. Like it's not huge. It's maybe like a couple of hundred of us. Like it's not absolutely massive where it's out of control and you don't know everybody. Like I could pretty much go to any strongman comp now in the UK, probably even in America, and probably know somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Giants live circuit of men, they can rotate guys in and out pretty well because they have so many. But if we're talking about women's stages, big women's stages for the Open, if it's invite only, you have maybe 30 to 40 ladies that you can, if that, that you can rotate in and out all the time.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot more difficult, doesn't it? But it's going in the right direction. We'll get there. We're getting there. We're getting there.
And the lightweight men's side is growing too. They officially have pro cards in the States, so that's exciting. As of last year, the lightweight men finally have pro cards. And, you know, their side, I think, needs more love, just like the ladies' side. Because sometimes the lighter guys get overshadowed.
Yeah, I think the lightweight men and the women sort of go hand in hand now, don't they? We're all aware that we're like the lesser in the sport at the moment. So we're like, right, join forces. Right. Take over the open weight men.
Yeah, if you watch the 80s and 90s at OSG, how many years have we watched them go into the finals and like top 3 are sharing points going into the final event? Something like that. And I'm like, why is everyone not freaking out about this? Like, this is crazy. I don't care what's happening in any of the other classes because I want to say, I could be wrong, it was either the U90s or U80s at this last OSG Worlds where all 3 of the top men were literally exact same points going into stones. I think it might have been the 80s. And it was the stone load split times that decided first, second, and third. And I was like,
crazy.
This is insanity. Like, the depth of talent in some of these classes just doesn't get attention because the world does want to see big guys moving big weight. I get that. But I love smaller people moving massive weight. It just blows my mind. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, 100%. And I think as well, it's more accessible for like the general population, isn't it? Because they can look at it and go, oh, about that size, I could probably like, I might want to try that. Like, if they can do it at that size, why can't I? Like, because there's not many people in the world that are like above 6'5" and weigh like 200 kilos, is there? So,
exactly.
Yeah, makes
there's just not a million of them, but yeah.
Nah, class. Do you have any final strongman thoughts then before we move on to the final part of the podcast?
I don't think so.
Okay, we'll leave it there then. Right, we'll move on to our final section, which is our silly goose section.
Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where we chat a load of shit that's of absolutely no use. It's silly goose time.
Yes.
So, do you have a silly goose you'd like to bring to the table?
I have a silly goose, and I want to hear your silly goose.
Okay, that's
my
fine.
silly
We'll
goose
do
for
yours
you.
First.
Okay, mine for you is if you could trade a strongman implement for something absolutely insane, like Atlas stones for water balloons, like durable water balloons, but they shake when you try to load them, what would you trade? Like, can you come up with something you would?
Immediately, I've already got one. It's going to be yoke because I just fucking, I don't really like it. And I just think it's like in the nicest of way, I think it's just a bit boring. Like car yoke, cool, like interesting. But I reckon yoke, but with like an animal, like yoke with a camel in your back instead or an elephant.
Okay, so just over the shoulder.
Yeah. So you just like, you've got to like, put it over your shoulders and just like run with it. So part of the event would be that you have to grapple the animal to the floor first to be like, right, come on, get it onto your shoulder, and then just run as fast as you can.
But if you hurt it or drop it, you lose significant points.
Yeah, hurt it or drop it, you're out. Done. Can't do that. It's got to be nice. I mean, it's not going to be consensual because like they can't. But in my mind, that would be the most exciting thing. First, you've got to like stop the animal from moving. You could even add it in a catch. So you could add an animal catch. So that animal runs away from you. You've got to catch it, get it to the floor, get it on your back, run. Like bushcraft. Yeah, you could do it with a pig. Yeah, that would be good. And if the pig turned around and bite you, that's it. You're out. Done.
Yeah, that's your own fault. As long as the animal doesn't get hurt. You can get hurt. Animal can't get hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like
that would be mine. What would be yours though? What would be yours? Because you must have thought about it.
Mine would be Atlas stones, but like, you know, the exercise balls. So it would be thick like that, but they would just be full of water and they would be heavy as crap. Like, who can load this? People would be falling all over the place. Like, you'd have to have crouch pads everywhere for people.
I feel like you could try that though. I feel like this is something that we could test out. I'm almost tempted to go and get a Swiss ball now and just fill it with water and see how hard it is.
I wonder how heavy one of those athletic balls would get if you just pumped it to the max. Because obviously your sizes would have to change based off the weight of the water. I'm gonna say but the weight of the water.
I know, I wonder how many litres you could get in, because I wonder, like, surely you get, you're going to get 60 litres into one of them exercise balls, 60 kilo stone, that's about right, isn't it?
I don't know. Maybe even heavier?
This is something that I'm going to test this out. I have a gym now specifically for this reason. I
want to hear how that goes.
Don't worry, I'll tell you. I'd probably be an absolute nightmare. Oh, hell yeah, that would be epic. Nancy can come down and do world record water balloon stone.
Oh, I love it.
Hell yeah. No, I love that. That's a very good silly goose. I like that one. I'm going to think about that a bit more, actually, because I feel like there's plenty more opportunities here. I'm going to have a little think about that one.
I have a buddy who puts on local shows and who tries to come up with silly events like that. And then he'll put kid components to it and let the kids. So if a parent is competing, the kid can compete too. And he'll make kid versions of whatever crazy thing he's coming up with. And it's easier because it's in the local setting. So he's like, I only need to make one weird thing and everybody can use it and then we're done.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I think makes Strongman weird again. Like, bring back the salmon toss. That was the best event that ever happened. That salmon toss keeps me awake at night. I think about it that much. Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah, the salmon weren't alive. If anyone's worried.
Rubber salmons. But I'm gonna get my mate to try and make me one because I'm gonna reinvigorate that salmon toss event because it was just so fucking funny.
Finally.
Yeah, I'll sort that out. I've got this comp that we're running this weekend. We're doing a silly goose hold. So I've got I don't know if you'll be able to see them. Oh, you might be able to. Me geese.
I love it.
What I've got is I've got big sledgehammers that we're going to put inside of them, and then you've got to hold the goose like by its neck for like max time. And I can say this because it'll be done by the time that we get this podcast out. So
that's incredible.
Exclusive. But yeah, that was my plan for this year. It was like enough weirdness where it's just a bit out there, but then a normalish strongman event. So like people are still able to do it.
I think all tiebreakers should be silly goose, like to be like some feat of strength, but just weird, not something you're expecting. Absolutely. Don't do the last event again. I don't want to see that. I want to see something crazy.
No, I don't want to see that, and I don't want to see a fucking farmer's hold. Boring, absolutely boring. Yeah. Like, think of something weird and interesting to do. Like, even a bodyweight hang is more exciting than a fucking farmer's hold, mate.
Yeah, I have a weird one for my show, but it's not till November, so I don't want to.
No, this podcast is going to come out before November, so don't tell them. It's still a secret. Class.
We'll have some ties that we can do it with.
Yeah. Well, so my silly goose for you was if you could answer one unsolved mystery, what would it be? Anything in the world. It could be just a theory, or it could be a crime, or it could be anything. I'll give you some thinking time because it's a loaded question, that one.
That is a great one.
Just those questions in life that you're like, oh, I wonder what about that. I wonder what that mystery is.
Mine would have to be about like a few conspiracies. Like how people say Hitler didn't kill himself, or what happened to JFK, Reagan,
Yeah.
and like the connections to other countries and like the oh my gosh. If I could solve deep state crimes or conspiracy theory crime, that would be insane. But I guess it wouldn't be safe to solve those.
No, you'd be a big target, wouldn't you? You'd be a big target. The things that
I'm
I
a
want to
target for
know,
things.
absolutely. The things that I really want to know is I want to know what fish are thinking about, because I just what have they got thoughts? Like, are they thinking about things? Like, what are crabs like? You know, crabs who are on the bottom and the fish are above them. Like, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
Like, what are they like?
I
What
mean,
the
have you
fuck's that
seen
up there?
Finding Nemo? They're thinking just keep swimming. Like, but
I know, but like, surely there's more thought there. Like, there's got to be something else. Like, there's got to be,
I just
because
wonder that too.
yeah, I just want to know what the fish are thinking, and then also I'd love to know who built the pyramids. And I already know the answer; it's the aliens. But I'd just like that confirmed.
But like the proof of it, like it's so hard to determine what proof is anymore for something.
Hmm.
So if you could see the proof of alien, like that would be so cool.
Yeah, like I want to watch like
Knowing
a
what,
video back.
yeah. I always wonder what my dog's thinking. I'm like, does she like me? Does she hate me?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to know what my dogs are thinking, but also I have 6 of them, so I feel like that would wear thin very quickly. After about 10 minutes, I'd be like, right, everyone, shut up. Don't care anymore.
No, you're done. You're
Don't
done.
talk to me anymore.
I
Shut
think
up.
that would have happened. When I'm at the zoo, I'm always like, are these animals happy? Do they like us? Do they hate us staring at them?
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, just knowing what animals think. Yeah, I don't think there's really any crimes. Well, there's maybe a few crimes. I'd like to know where Madeleine McCann is. You might not know Madeleine McCann. So that was more of a British thing. She was just a little girl that went
missing.
Yeah, she disappeared on holiday. Yeah, and it was huge for fucking years. It was huge, and there was like conspiracy theories that her parents had killed her and all that sort of stuff. But just for the sake of being able to know what happened, I'd like to know what happened about that, because that feels like a big milestone moment in my life, Madeleine McCann.
Fair. That's a good one. It's hard. There's just so many things. You would solve one and you would be like, okay, what can I solve next? Like, your curiosity would build.
I think it would make my curiosity worse, to be honest. I would just get worse and worse, because I'm a speculative person at the best of times.
That's fair. Always wondering what's next.
Exactly. While you're on as well, just quickly before we end the podcast, have you got any thoughts on the Bermuda Triangle, seeing as you're a bit of a conspiracy theorist?
I want to go so badly. Like, every time people talk about people don't come back from here, I'm like, I want to go. I just want to go. Want to see what it's about.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, this is the thing. I don't know much about it, and I don't really have any conspiracy theories, but people send me Bermuda Triangle stuff all the time, because I ask a lot of people about the Bermuda Triangle.
Right? Like, I wouldn't want to get on a cruise ship. I'm not a big fan of cruise ships, because like when I see the bad cruise ship experiences, I'm like, that's why I wouldn't go. But if I could charter a boat and go out to the Bermuda and just pass through it, I'd be like, this is so cool.
Yeah,
like, going places other people aren't willing to go is very fascinating to me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, I've got a little bit of fear, but the curiosity would overtake the fear every time.
And maybe that's where some of our love of rocks comes from, Atlas or natural, because there are so many people that are like, why would you do that? I would never do that. There's no point in doing that. I'm like, no point, because I want to, because it's cool.
The whole point. The whole point is there is no point. We just like it.
Right? We just like it. It's something cool to do, and I care about it. If you don't care about it, that means more for me. That's fine.
Absolutely, yeah. More rocks for us. Fuck off. Go do whatever you want to do. See ya. Perfect. Right. Well, on that, though, I won't keep you any longer, though. Thank you so much for being on the pod. Where can people find you if they want to follow you along, all that sort of jazz?
They can find me on Instagram at NAN_CIEE, Nancy Johnson, on Facebook, wherever.
Sweet. I'll tag it all in the show notes below. But thank you so much for being on, Nancy. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And we will see you all on the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Strongwoman Highs, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the podcast, then please give us a follow on Instagram Or if you would like, we're also on buymeacoffee.com/strongwomanhighs. This is where you can send us tips, or you can also join our membership area, which is $5 a month or £4 a month. It's the silly gosling level. We'll post out any extra content that we get on there, and hopefully a few little like free giveaways of things as well. The podcast currently doesn't cost a lot to run, which is what we're trying to keep it as, but we would like to be able to cover our costs, and also once those costs are covered, any profit that is made on Strong Woman Highs will be getting saved up and put into a pot for future Strong Woman competitions that we can sponsor. So if you have a Strong Woman competition that you'd like to be sponsored, or if you want to be on the podcast, then give us a shout, send me a message on Instagram or on YouTube, anywhere else you can get us, and we'll get it sorted, because the more women that we can get on, the better. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye!